forget. I usually forget. I don't forget. I know it before, but I don't remember it for upward again.
The green leaf. I don't really know the symbol. Sorry.
It's palm tree. And we have this thing, I don't know, it is called eyobo, like cowries, yes. And there is one also, a fisherman a man in a boat. That one signifies the fishing area in Lagos. There's a cap, white cap chief in Lagos Island and all those. And the palm, I think it's Badagry, all those Badagry areas I saw.
Three symbol.
Many thanks for staying with us. It's still the conversation, and on this segment we'll be spotlighting micro, small and medium enterprise, the real engine of our economy. But in today's data-driven world, how do these businesses move beyond guesswork to smart decision making? Our focus is on strengthening MSMEs through data analytics in Lagos. And joining us to have this conversation is this founder and CEO of Data Analytics Elite, Iremide Olatunji. She's very firm in helping businesses unlock growth and efficiency using data. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
You know, we're having this conversation just before we came on air, and I was like, what is it? Maybe we're just doing buying and selling. What's data analytics again? If a customer come, bring your money, I give you yours, I give you your product, and then you go. What are we analyzing with data now? So let's start simple here, Iremide. What exactly is data analytics, and how is it relevant in today's business, especially for MSMEs?
All right, so before we go into data analytics, I want to take us back to the concept of what technology is, right? For me, I see technology as leverage. Technology is just using a tool to do something smarter and better. For example, if I say we have a race, let's run a race, right? And I have Adebimpe on the track, I have Joy, and I have Iremide on the track. And I'll say, whoever gets from here to Secretariat, faster, gets 10 million naira, right? Adebimpe can decide to run with her legs, right? While Joy can decide to ride a bicycle. Well, I can decide to use a car.
No, I'm not running with my leg. I want to use the car.
Right? So that is technology. Like you are leveraging on something to get a particular task done better and faster. So data analytics is under that umbrella of technology. And what data analytics does for businesses, it helps you understand what is happening in your business. Currently, right now, for example, if you sell, let's say, hot tea. During the rain, we have these guys that push hot tea,
And coffee.
Yeah, and coffee. Ellen, so imagine you're selling hot tea in this hot weather. Really, you know that now is not the time for you to have sales, right? So data analytics help you understand what is happening currently, what has happened in previous time. Or in previous time, during rainy seasons, the sales goes up, it peaks. Right, and when the sun is out, when everywhere is hot, the sales declines, right? And then it helps you understand what should you do, right? Giving the example I was giving, if I am the owner of that business, what I would do is two things. Either I decide to sell cold tea during the hot weather, just to diversify, like bringing another product. Like bringing
ice into your tea.
Yes, instead of the hot tea. Now, so once the weather is up and then it's hot, I sell cold tea. Right, and then when it's raining season, I go back to the hot tea. However, I can still sell my hot tea during the hot weather. Where will I sell it to? Hospitals. Because really, basically everybody in the hospitals drinks something, the patient, the nurse, they just want something hot for themselves, right? Because of the environment they are in, right? You go to the hospital, you have the maternity ward. You can't give a maternity, someone just give birth, cold tea to drink. Definitely they want something hot, right? So I can sell, that's another innovative idea that I've brought in, right? So data will help you understand what is happening in your business, what has happened previously, and what you should do going forward.
Okay, Joy, please. I like your, because I have a follow-up to that. I like your analysis of using a seasonal product or seasonal service. A situation where we have, what you do is sell fabrics. What you do is sell jewelry. What you do is sell shoes. There's no season for that? Does that your analysis apply to those kind of services?
Yes, it does. Okay. So let's use fabric, for example. There are a lot of Owambes in January and December. Like December is the peak period. Like parties, birthdays, name it. So anyone selling fabric knows that, like just by intuition, right, knows that, oh, December is the time that things are bubbling, right? But when we get to like July, August, there are parties, but then, maybe, because I'm not in that industry, so maybe I can't give exact data, but I'm just trying to it's kind of like, it declines. It's not like as the way it is in December. Okay. Do you understand? But when you have data, now you'll be able to know that, oh, December, January, February, my business peaks, right? April, May, June, there's a slight decline. Okay. Right? Then September, October, November, it's rising again. Okay. Then you will know how to stock your inventory, your fabrics. You know, okay, so which item, which product, which material people buying more. You know, the time you go in Lagos and you have the Ankara at home, and then you see like 5 people wearing the same Ankara and be like, oh, thank God I'm not wearing mine. If not, they will think that this is a family affair.
Okay, I asked that question purposes just to understand that data analytics works for all businesses.
Irrespective of
the industry. Okay,
So my question would be, how would you describe the current level of awareness when we're talking about data analytics? Is there something like data literacy? I'd like you to expand into that.
Yes, there is. And data literacy is the ability for you to see data, understand data, interpret data. It's as simple as that. Right, but the level of awareness is still very low, even among data professionals, like so-called data professionals. Right, we are still trying to understand the industry because the more technology is expanding, the whole industry is expanding. Now we know we have data analytics, we have data science, machine learning, AI, and a lot of people are still trying to find their way in between, navigate all of these big boss names that are just out there. Right, but for SMEs, one of the things I would recommend is for people that are thought leaders in data analytics like myself. We need to start teaching it in our local language. Okay. Because if I go to a market woman and I'm telling her, you need to start using Power BI and start using Google Forms to collect, she's lost.
I'll just be looking
She's just like, what are you doing? Oh, nice girl. Oh, and you're speaking well. Okay, just give her water. When she's done, let her go. Right? But when you help her understand that, oh, Mama, I can create a system for you in such a way that you'll be able to know when your sales peaks during the week. So let's say you sell more on Mondays. So okay, for my business, for example, the data analytics training firm that I run, right? Like our marketing and sales peaks on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if I want to run Instagram ad, Facebook ad, Twitter ad, it's during Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
When because people are more relaxed?
That's when people are more relaxed.
Okay.
But if I'm pushing an ad on Monday, nobody's going to respond to you because everybody's trying to find money and find, themselves for the week. So a market woman can also, use that. If we can create a system for her to be able to just, with a click, she doesn't have to do anything. Just use her mobile phone and she's seeing, last week Friday, it peaks. So that means this coming Friday, I need to prepare. If my inventory is low, I need to start finding a way to restock, right? Okay, for another example, my mom sells in the market and she sells plastics, right? And then just in front of her shop is a mosque. Okay. And then you know that Fridays is the central mosque, right? Fridays, people are going to come from all over. So the market is fuller on Fridays. That is data, right? Now, what does she do with that data? So you need to know, does the market being full, does it mean increase in sales for you? Or it's just the same? Because the mosque can be full, people can be all over the place during the hours of 11 to 3 p.m., but then that doesn't mean you sell more than. While for some businesses, during that time, there's a whole lot of sales. people that sells minerals, for example, soft drinks, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. During those periods, that's when people are coming out, the sun is hot, give me Pepsi, give me water, give me this. For them, it's an increase in sales, right? While for your business, maybe you're selling something like toothbrush, toothpaste. It might not necessarily be an increase in sales for you. Yeah, so data will help you understand, you know, how you can structure your business properly.
So I need you to break this down now, because you have just told us what data analysis is all about. Then how do you collect this data before you start? Oh, how is it done? What's the process? Is there like a process for data collection first before you start analyzing?
Yes, there is, right? Okay.
I want to say something.
All right.
It has to do with, you know, the
Okay.
question she just asked that, okay, before you even collect this data, how do you even identify what data to collect? You used your mom's business as an example. You know, how can, you know, other business begin to identify what data to look out for? Then you start, before they start to collect.
All right. So the thing is, we are actually trying to make this thing big, but the thing is, we already do. Right, like my mom's business, for example, we have higher education, Maggie, accessibility, 500. We document this. The first step is data analysis is data collection, right? And we do this already manually. It's just that once data on the size book becomes so bogus, it's difficult for us to be opening and then start checking the trends, right? That's where technology came in. Like the first example I gave about the race. You can either run by foot, or you use bicycle, or you use a car, right? So initially we collect data. Most businesses, whether in the market, just name it, they have an exercise book where they write. Once they go to the market and they take invoices from the company, they keep it somewhere. That is data. So they are collecting data already. But now they need to be able to analyze the data. That is the analytics part in data analytics. It has to go through an engine, then produce something for you that will help you make decisions. Right? But then we can't put exercise book inside Microsoft Excel and expect that it gives you all the bar chart and dashboard to make decisions, right? So we need to now educate them, you know, create a simple system for them. This thing you are doing with exercise book is good. Now you can do it on your phone through Google Forms, through Microsoft Forms. So the same way you document, oh, I bought this, just click on this total amount, and then submit. Right, and then so they don't have to even learn, you know, how to do the Excel. That's where we come in, right? So they can come in, seek consultation. We create a system for them. The same they do in their notebook. Just do it on your phone. That's all we are asking. Once you can do that, we at the back end, we know what to do. We know the engine to put it in, whether it's Excel, Power BI, but we know that the most one we can do for SMEs is Excel, because that's like the most powerful foundation, the grandfather of all analytics, right? So with Excel, we can create a dashboard whereby with just a click on refresh. Mama, refresh, click. Every time you want to see new thing, just click on this one button, and then you see what's going on. Right? And then most of these mamas and things, they have smartphones. They go on TikTok, they go on Facebook, they navigate.
Instagram.
So that means we can teach them how to just navigate a simple dashboard. Oh, select this date. If you want to see from last week, select from Monday to this. Put like a calendar date for them. So it's really very easy. So we don't have to like make it look like, oh, data analytics is one big thing. You know, people are saying that, oh, it's new. No, it's not new. We've been doing it. Right? It's just now we are now using a more advanced tool, yes, to do it.
Okay, let's look at, you know, some of the mistakes MSMEs make with data and, of course, lack of it. What are the mistakes? You know, you have worked with, you know, other MSMEs as a consultant, and then when you prepare all of this for them, you still you know, punch holes in some of the things you have set up for them. You know, what are some of these mistakes they make in with data that they have?
So the first mistake is their lack of understanding of how powerful data is and what data can really help their business achieve.
Even when they have it. Even
when they have it, because some of them have it, and then everything is just all around the place. When you need them, they are all over the place looking for what this is, what, you know. Like, they don't know how to, like, something called data quality. You keep data. There's a way to keep data to ensure that, okay, even if it's an invoice you're keeping, at least put it in such a way that when I'm checking, I can see by date. But they will just put everything inside one nylon bag and dump on you. Really, who is going to sort all of that? Right? So it's their lack of understanding of what data is and how powerful data can be for their business. So we just mishandle data. They misuse data. And also a lot of missing values. Even with those that, you know, try to keep a little information, it still doesn't add up to anything at the end of the day.
So is it advisable for a new startup, you know, I want to do this business. Let me see you. Let me come and see Iremide. What advice? I'm not saying you should let go of all your of all the information you monetize, but you know, what are the things you will tell this person who wants to start business? Say, look, I want to start this business, Iremide. How do I go about it? What are the things I should do first?
All right. So there's a program I launched last year, November, called the 1 Million SME Project. And the goal is to help 1 million SMEs across Nigeria to harness the power of data analytics. So if you're an SME owner, you're new in business, I think the first thing is either you see me or any other data consultant. You know, let them tell you, I'll tell you 5 key areas of business that you need to track data for. First is inventory. Right? Because you need to know how stocks are going in and going out. You need to know your fast-moving product, your slow-moving product. You need to be able to analyze damages, expiry product. Right? The second is sales. Right? You need to know who are you selling what to, where are you selling it to, what are you selling, what's the quantity, what's the volume. Right? You need to understand your sales, analyze your sales. And the third one is customer. Who is that customer that buys a lot from you? You know, some people can just come, buy 5 million from you, and then they will buy next in the next 5 months or 6 months, or they don't even come back. They just buy once huge, and that's all. And that's so you need to be able to track these people and know them, right? And then know how to upsell to them, how to reach out to them. Right? You can't say, oh, this person bought one time and we didn't see this person again, and then that's all. You're just there. You should be able to follow up as a business owner to know what happened. Was it that they encountered a bad service when they came? Or maybe it was just a one-time event that they had and then they just purchased and that was all. So when you have this information, it helps you make better decisions. So I mentioned inventory, I mentioned sales, I mentioned customer. The fourth one is geographical location. So you need to know where are you selling what to. Oh, people in Agege buy more Milo than people on the island. If I want to sell Milo, you know, or a particular product, I go to a particular...
Don't do adverts. Please stop mentioning brands, please. Stop mentioning brands. You can say beverage.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
You can say soft drinks.
I'm so sorry.
Sincerity.
Yeah, you know, it's just about the way, when I'm speaking, I like to like use relatable examples. For people to understand. So, for example, let's say beverage. Like people in Agege buy more beverage than people on the island. And if you want to sell beverage, really, where would you go? Agege. Because you have data. But if you don't have data, you feel like, oh, island are the big boys and the big girls. Let me go and chatter my money and market to them, and they'll be looking at you. You burn all that money on marketing, get skaters, pull flyer, pull billboard, and it won't yield. Why? Because you don't know where your product is most, the geographical location, where a lot of people buy. Right? And the last one, I've mentioned inventory, I've mentioned sales, I've mentioned customer, I've mentioned geographical location. The last one is marketing, which I've also said. Right? In geographical location, you need to know, are you giving discount? At what time are you giving discount? Right? How much discounts are you giving at what time? So as a business owner, these 5 areas are very, like for any startup, this is like the starting point. Have this 5. Worst case scenario, have the top 3. Inventory, sales, customer. That's the worst case scenario.
So for, you know, what you have just said, I can understand for some people who understand certain level of structure. But my concern now is for those in the informal sector, the Yarisikat, you know, who just have a provision store. How do you help such business owners to understand data analytics? Yeah,
that's why I said that we need to speak to them in the local language. Like, like explaining to them in
So no matter
Yoruba.
how small the business
Yeah, no
is.
matter how small the business is, you can do something for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can let Yaris, you can, like I said, even you can let Yaris, I can do something for that. You will know by the time before your Milo before your beverage finishes, right? You know when to restock, right? If today you went to the market and you bought 20 beverages, right? And then you sold some. I can help you track in such a way that by the time your beverage is it's a lot. It's a struggle. By the time your beverage is less than 5, you know that there's a need for you to, go and restock that particular beverage.
I also, sorry, Adepipe, what are the positives or what are the advantages of, embracing data analytics, especially again for those that are not in the structured sector? Because I've heard some business owners complain of, oh, my sales girl, she's what if I get shop and all that, and so you see some of them don't even want to have sales girls anymore. They just want to do everything on their own. Like I know one mama in my area, she was always complaining and and sometimes she has to close her store when she's tired and all that. So what are the advantages of embracing this and how can it help grow the business?
Yeah, so you already said one advantage already from your example, right? So you'll be able to know when your sales girl is stealing, right? For example, another example. Okay, let me just continue.
Products are disappearing now.
Yeah, so let me continue on the beverage, right? I stock about 200 cartons of beverage in my store, and because it's 200, it feels like a lot. And then somebody feels like they can just carry 1 carton and then go and hide inside their bag.
Management comes in. Yeah.
That's where the inventory comes in.
Yeah.
We brought in 200 based on sales. 190, 199 has been sold. Then it's left with 1. Who is in charge? You pay for it. It's as simple as that, right? You have to find who is in charge. How did 1 carton of beverage grow wings, grow legs in this store, and then moved out?
Okay. My concern is about pricing. Is there a way data analytics, affect, pricing of products?
Yes, so for data analytics and pricing, yes, so it helps you compare prices. Right, from different platforms, right? There's times whereby I want to buy maybe like a fashion brand. I can check on an e-commerce page, right, both locally or international, compare the prices, and then I'm analyzing. So data analytics doesn't even mean that you have to use a tool, right? Sometimes with intuition, you can make decisions. So I don't want everybody to be like, oh, until I have to go through this data analytics to Excel and things, I can't get anything done, right? There are things, there are several products that I've launched that is just based on somebody saying something, another person saying that same thing, about 5 people repeating that. I'm like, no, I need to launch something for these guys, right? So just based on intuition, once the price of a product is, let's say, 5 naira here, in another place is 4 naira, you look at how long will it take for this person to bring it to me? How long will it take for the guy to bring it to me? Then you make a decision. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to apply this now because data analytics, you collect data. There are some supermarkets that when you go to ask you, oh, your customer, do you have your account details, give us your phone number and all that. So that's customers releasing their data to them. So how do you also ensure privacy?
Yeah. So for data governance and privacy, it's still really an issue, and the adoption rate is still very low because there is no structured governing body that is enforcing like these particular strict laws. I know that data laws, but a lot of time they are being passed, and that's because a lot of people don't even know what is in those laws and what those laws are saying to protect them. So it's very difficult, for them to know how to fight when those laws are being breached. Right? So it's for data governance and privacy, we are still like growing in that particular area. It's that's an area by the entire industry is still growing in, trying to understand more, trying to create a system, trying to create a body, but they haven't been like a structured body to hold organizations accountable for data privacy.
If you were to prefer a solution for the government, what would it be?
Really? Well, if the government can create a body, to look into data privacy, it really help. Because I know there has been rumors of, some people take your email and they sell it to another group of people. One strange company, strange organization, sending you emails, sending you SMS, and all of those things. So the government can really look into it. It's okay, yes, so we want to sit on, but we need to understand what the industry is all about first, then understand data governance, understand data privacy, understand the ethics behind data. Until we understand that, if I just can't just say, bam, this is the law. You have to understand the system around, data, and then think like structured what's the word now? Like structured rules to guide organizations. Okay, so these are the rules regarding data. If you do this, this is what you'll be fined for, right? If customer complain about this is what you'll be fined for.
Well, in the past, or even currently, we had a lot of people complain about their business, being going down because, of some, government policies, multiple taxation and all, and different challenges they face. For example, I've always said this here. I have a friend who used to own a school, but today she doesn't have a school anymore after COVID because of they lost a lot of pupils after COVID. So it's just there's a role that the government needs to play in supporting businesses in understanding data analytics.
Yes, I think the government has a role to play, and most especially is it SMEDEN? SMEDN, yes. Yeah, I think they are like a body for small and micro businesses. Yeah, so it should be part of their responsibility to educate businesses, on data analytics. But they have to find a way to narrow it down in such a way that it's achievable for people in the informal sector, like for women who are like semi-educated. In such a way that they understand, because they form about 90% of these SMEs. Like, they are about 90%. So we are talking the English and the grammar, and the woman you are trying to impart barely even understands the English. We will just be moving around the same circle. So we need to find a way to teach data analytics in Yoruba, teach it in Igbo, teach it in Hausa, teach it in, Igala, in Dabu. You know, to bring data analytics down in such a way that it's achievable. Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm doing. This is what I should do. This is what will help me do.
So data analytics is, do you have trainings, workshops, or partnerships with government, or the private sector?
Okay, so currently we do not run any trainings with the government. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention the name.
You can't. If it is another brand, you cannot. You're not allowed.
Currently, but I signed up for SMEDEN.
Okay.
Yes, I'm part of SMEDEN, the organization registered as SMEDEN. Yes.
Okay. So talking about bringing data analytics down to Jebu, Igbo, and all that. So you mean that we need more expert in data analytics. So for someone who wants to become a data analyst, what are the basic skills that he or she needs? Is this something that you study in school, or is it a special course you get training for?
So for someone who wants to learn data analytics, first is the willingness to learn. That's what I tell people. You need to first have that drive to say, because the road might get a little, it's just like any other thing you're trying to learn. Even if you want to learn marketing, even if you want to learn sales, the road won't be smooth the first day you start. It's going to get a little bit rough. So you need to have that willingness to learn. And for those that are scared of mathematics, really, you don't have to be. Basic understanding of board mass is enough. Bracket, off, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction.
Yeah, it's basic now.
Board mass is primary one.
It's primary one.
I know math, so I had a B3 math. So
right? So board mass, that's all the mathematics you need to know. Bracket comes before off, comes before division, comes before multiplication, comes before addition and subtraction. Simple. So once you have the willingness and then you've covered the issue of board mass, like you are good on board mass, yeah? So one thing I advise is take a course on Microsoft Excel. That's like the foundation.
What about project management?
So project management is another branch of technology.
Okay.
That is
But
not under data analytics.
It has no link with,
link.
with data analytics.
No.
Okay.
So what a project manager does is, the project manager manages several projects with several skills.
Okay.
So under a project manager's project, there will be a software engineer, there will be a DevOps engineer, a cloud engineer, a data analyst, software. Do you understand? Then the person manages the project, okay, software engineer, you have to build this particular software with this timeline, right? DevOps, this is where you come in. Data analysis is where that manages the entire tech guys, you know, under that particular project. That's like the main work of a project manager. So it's very, 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 very different.
Okay.
Is
From
this something you
data
studied in
analysis.
school, or you just stumbled on it?
No, for me, I didn't study that. I studied business management in school.
Okay, so
I
it's
have
along
I
the
have a
line.
bachelor's degree in business
Okay,
management.
so it's along the line.
Yes, it was along the line.
Right.
During NYSC, I stumbled on data
it.
analysis
Yeah.
by mistake. I was
Okay.
posted to Ikeja here, you know, to learn at around Computer Village. That's where my PPA was. And then the company said they were losing, you know, they were losing their profits. And I was just a passionate copper. Passionate about the PR I was posted to, and I just wanted to just, you know, help the CEO, very friendly man. You know, I wanted to help him. And then from there, like, oh, we have 25 sales rep.
Okay.
Out of the 25 sales rep, how come we are losing money? That's the small mathematics. Like I said, board mass. This person, you go out with 10,000 naira for transportation every week. You come back, you don't bring any money. Means that the salary we are paying you and the 10,000 naira per week is a waste. So with basic mathematics, I would say, no, 15 people are actually giving us so and so profit, while the rest of them are just added to the numbers.
Okay, if you were in a room full of policymakers now, as of today, what would you tell them about empowering MSMEs with data?
I think we have a long way to go, and we need everybody, like all hands on deck, right, to really empower MSMEs, business owners in data analytics. Like the journey is still very, very far, right? So we need to let them understand what technology is, because that word technology scares a lot of people. So we need to bring it in such a way that it's closer. Just like you use technology to you by using a race as an example, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's just about leverage, right? Me using it to do something better. So it's about letting them understand the concept of technology, and then from there we can now start telling them about, okay, so this is what data analytics is, and this is how we can help your business grow and scale forward.
Insightful conversation we've had with Mimde Olatunji talking about strengthening MSMEs through data analytics in Lagos. And from what we have discussed so far, I have understood that data is not just for the tech groups. You don't have to be tech group. It is for everybody. Thank you so much, Renee, for the insightful conversation.
Thank you so much, Joy.
All right. The conversation continues after this. Stay with us.
Let the conversation continue.
I see a burial ground, we call it Teku, that was kidnapping people's school children. So when I woke up in the following morning, I was afraid of coming to the school. So by the time I passed this place, I don't know. When I get to the other side, I remember I just passed to Teku. I just picked up, I just started running to school.